taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
With live today, Kyle Leahy throwing. I mean, he was the guy who gave you the flexibility out of the pen last year. When you look at just kind of what he could provide this year, just kind of how he's going to go, like, I guess what do you kind of look for out of him?
Yeah, there's some versatility with Leahy, and just he's not splitty. Like, he actually does a nice job against left-handers, so having to find him a lane that's favorable as far as like just righties, or if they pinch hit, you're not too scared of that based on what he's shown up to this point. But also he gives you the versatility of throwing multiples, and you feel good about him being able to give you 6 outs or even more if needed, and he's shown the ability to do that as well.
Ollie, last spring, I think, was when you guys had formulated a plan for Steven Matz, a certain kind of workload. Are you going to do something similar this year, or is he pretty much...
No, he'll fit into a regular schedule. Mm-hmm. We're monitoring the ankle just to make sure that nothing flares up there, but everything else is in a really, really good spot. So, yeah.
What are some reasons for optimism for Miles Michaels?
Yeah, when you look at Miles, there's a couple things. You look at 22, you look at 23, and then last year, his stuff has actually improved. When you look at location, is about the same, and you look at two-strike location, there's the area for improvement. He's well aware of it. There's some adjustments he's making outside of that I think will help. But then when it comes to just being able to execute in those counts, I think that's going to be a big part of what he does here in spring, and then carries it into the year. But obviously, the contact rate in two strikes is higher than what he would want, and we'll work on changing that.
And he eats innings.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he does that better than anybody. I mean, he takes the ball, and he loves to throw. So, yes.
As a veteran, how do you improve? He's been doing this for quite a while. How do you improve that two-strike approach, or is it a different pitch? Is it a different way of thinking?
It's definitely not a different pitch. I mean, his thing is being able to throw any pitch and then count, right? It's just being able, it's more of a mindset of really committing to executing a pitch out of the zone when necessary.
And how did he look yesterday?
Yeah, looked good. I mean, first time out, you want guys to go out there and come off the mound feeling good and wake up the next day feeling just normal soreness. So we're in a good spot.
Ollie, Alec Burleson had a breakout year last year. Second half not as good as the first. His first real taste of playing that many games. How does a young guy like that get ready to sustain it for the full season?
No, that's a good question. I mean, if you look at Burley, and he definitely had a really good first half. You look at the second half, this is a guy whose superpower is just making contact. And the league caught on to that and started to go out of the zone more often and earlier. And he continued to make contact, but weaker contact. So he knows what he needs to do in order to continue to improve and take steps in the right direction. And he took it to heart last year when we said, hey, we need you to come in better shape, and he has, and he looks good right now. So I think as far as playing a full year, he should be just fine.
Are we going to see him move around, maybe outfield, DH? I know it's fluid at this point.
It's fluid at the moment. We'll see how we are health-wise, but the focus right this second will be to kind of mix into first base and DH.
Yeah. When you look at that group of guys who you want to get an eye on, what they do in terms of starting to work, is Leahy a guy who can fall into that bucket?
He can if necessary. I think when you look at the names on that list and how many opportunities you get to start and not piggyback, it makes it difficult to kind of find innings for him as a starter. But as far as coming in and throwing multiples as a piggyback, that's definitely possible.
Only with a staff that has a number of guys that can thrive based on pitch to contact, inducing weaker contact, the push-pull between defense first lineup versus trying to prioritize offense is obviously a ways off at the start of the season. But how do you kind of view that going into this camp where you're kind of evaluating a few different spots, I guess, in that regard?
No, I've spent a decent amount of this morning thinking through exactly that. It's a really good question, and I think it's one that there's a lot to your question. So the way I would answer it today is I think there's a bigger conversation to be had with our front office to understand that's one of the short-term, long-term type of decisions that we're going to have to face as far as how we go into this year. So to sit here and just say it's a pure competition, I think would be a little bit naive. Yeah.
Will we see significant strength? That's something that's in his path?
We've talked about it. We're continuing to discuss it. obviously because it provides you a right-handed option. But
And
so
makes
I
him a little more flexible too in terms of what he can give you.
I understand. Yeah.
I think this may fit with what you were just talking about, like the long-term, short-term. You and Mo have kind of brought up the idea of having a veteran who isn't a closer, just because of the nature of the closer. Sure. Role. I mean, is that part of that short-term, long-term? Like, do you go with a guy who's going to be here for 4 months or 6 months, depending on how it goes, versus someone you want to grow into that spot?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it allows others, it depends how you look at it. I mean, it could help others grow and speed up that development process. You can really expedite that process if done
If he's
well.
a teacher, if
yeah,
he's
exactly.
a mentor,
So you weigh the who is it taking innings away from if you were to make a move like that. And if it's worth it, then you do it. If you don't think it's worth it, then you don't. But those are those short-term, long-term type of decisions that go beyond winning this game today, right? So that's why it's a really good question, and one that needs a much bigger discussion as we move through this.
There's no like quota for when a guy becomes a veteran. It's more like how he handles himself.
Yeah, I mean, some guys mature earlier.
Right.
Some never do, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, it has more to do with kind of what you've done over your career, what the experiences provided.
Did you feel some of those relievers are closer than maybe I don't know how to put that, but that they're going in that direction as far
Who
as...
specifically?
Well,
I mean, the guys in our pen right now,
yeah,
like
the
JoJo
guys in
and
your
that group.
pen.
Yeah,
JoJo. I mean, I didn't want to put on Ryan, but he moved pretty fast.
Libby is a guy that I think.
Yeah. I'll give you a quick story. Like when Helsley went down in 23 and JoJo took a bulk of those late inning leverage innings, I mean, we saw him take on some real leadership type of qualities, and you land in a city in Pittsburgh and he's taking the entire bullpen out to dinner and actually wanting to spend time and grow the culture within the pen. So like you have guys that kind of know what that looks like and actually enjoy doing it. So yeah, there's a couple guys in that pen that have grown quite a bit in those areas.
Because we don't talk about it a lot, but you look at from last year to this year, maybe the focus is on the rotation, right? Lynn and Gibson being on the bench, Crawford and Carver being on. But Kittredge and Middleton and Giovanni Gallego, I mean, that's a lot of
It's a ton.
experience drained from that bullpen.
It is, and that's what you're constantly weighing. Like, you want to have youth throughout in order to execute on kind of the messaging that we've heard this offseason as far as how we're going to go through this year. And then you're constantly weighing what that looks like, and there's different ways to go about it, so we'll see.
Is it part of the appeal of like a Nick Anderson, for instance? Guy who's kind of been there, done that, seen it, has that kind of stabilized about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you said superpower earlier about Alec Brunson, was that a Brant Brown word? I interviewed him the other day. He kept referring to each hitter's superpower.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was something all in coach.
Maybe it's rubbed off on me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have spent a decent amount of time with him.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. So it's kind of a cool way of describing. Each hitter's got their own superpower.
Yeah.